Hi everybody, I'm Adam. I'm the graphic designer at Goose Island, and I'm sitting here drinking a beer, talking about what I love best about Goose Island. Here I have a Pepe Nero that just got released last month. It is a Saison brewed with peppercorns. One of the best things about working for Goose Island is actually working with the brewers, specifically something like this, where they say, we have a new beer, and this is what we want to portray about the beer. It's this type, this is what we brewed it for, this type of food that we want to serve it with. And we get to work with them and talk about, how our designs and how their inspiration can be then portrayed on the label or on some of the packaging or signage that we do for it.
So what was the inspiration for Pepe Nero?
Pepe Nero was based on a lot of Italian wines. Some of the patterns we have and this border that we have has been sort of inspired or taken from really classic Italian red wines to be in line with a lot of our Belgian style ales, as well as use a new system of association with these wines.
I'm Nick Ferry, Senior Designer with Goose Island Beer Company, and I'm here today at Big Star, one of our great Chicago accounts, and I'm here to talk about what I love about working at Goose Island.
What do you love about working at Goose Island?
As a designer, if you're working for an outside agency, a lot of times you don't get to see the real impact that your work has. That's not the case at Goose Island. Everything I do gets produced, everything I do has an impact, and as soon as a new label comes off the bottling line, I can see it on a bottle and I can see everybody getting excited about it. And that's what's really great.
One of my favorite days at Goose Island, or working for Goose Island, was besides actually seeing my first beer on the shelf at Binny's, it was actually, we got to go over and watch the Bourbon County rare barrels being emptied. And we sat there for probably an hour, hour and a half, watching each barrel by barrel, and finally one of our brewers said, "Here, why don't you try a taste of it?" And I think I was literally in heaven for about 5 seconds of my life. And that was probably the best day that I've had at Goose Island.
One of my favorite memories actually comes from a time before I worked officially for Goose Island. I was working for Goose Island's ad agency, and we all went on Smelt Fest up in Wisconsin. And we were up there with Greg Hall, the brewmaster, drinking lots of Goose Island beer and going from bar to bar. And it was early in the spring, so there was still some snow on the ground, and we're making our way through the bar crawl and dodging snowballs thrown by Greg Hall, the brewmaster.